What if I told you, you're not who you think you are, you're who you believe you are? Allow me to explain. And belief isn't a fact, it's often a story, shaped by past environment, old cultures, and childhood memories that have been deeply pushed down. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people never realize a lot of their belief system comes from childhood conditioning, being repeated over and over again. My experience in my childhood is I had this belief that I was a football player. I believed that my goal in life was to make it as a football player. And honestly, it served me up into a point where it became limiting. I felt like I had moments where I wanted to explore other things. I was asking, who am I? And because I constantly was asking, and of course this was in roughly the same time I started meditation, right? It's one of those things where, because I kept myself open, and I repeatedly asked and checked in with myself, who am I? It allowed me to explore more and more sports, more things in life. If I had an interest, I would go off and explore it. If it came to opening up a brand and it excited me, the feeling towards it excited me, then I would go off and explore it. And I didn't allow myself to become fixated to one thing. So many athletes identify with being linear in a certain area. And the reason why we question this is because you have to imagine, if you have a belief system that I'm not good enough, and you haven't learned the ability, or you haven't learned to question that, you end up carrying this subconsciously for such a long time. And that's why as we go through each day, different subjects, metacognition, the part of being aware of your mind, being able to question your own biases and distortions, to now exploring the concept of I am this, I am that, is amongst the most limiting things you could put yourself in. I remember when I did this, and I know it sounds crazy because I just said I, but I saw how limiting these experiences became. And as time went on, I learned to, again, identify less with this concept and go off based on feeling. The feeling excited me more. If I wanted to do something, I would go based on feel, intuition. So if I found that a sport really lit me up, I would go off and explore it. In fact, how I started BJJ or came from that excitement, where I remember reading about it online, saying it's in terms of brain damage of CTE, because I was exploring loads of combat sports at that time, that was the safest one for me, personally, personal choice. But of course, the damage on its body, it has a knock-on effect. But the feeling lit me up, and I went off and explored it. Bearing in mind, I already do triathlon, I was already doing judo, and a lot of things. But what I'm trying to say behind this is, when we get fixated on this whole image of I am a triathlete, I am an Ironman, Iron Woman, I only do this, I only do that, we become very limiting. One of the most common experiences I've had with people, especially in a triathlon world, is they would say, oh, I don't do gym. I don't like gym. Not realizing that gym is one of the most foundational, SNC of course, parts of being an athlete. You need to be strong enough to be able to handle your sport so you don't break down. So you can see how a limiting belief can hold you. I am this. I am not this. There's one thing I've learned over the years, is that the concept of I never stays the same. At one point I saw myself as a football player, an Olympic lifter, a triathlete, a crit racer, BJJ. It's always changing. Each sport, each moment, each area had a different side of me. And if I held this sense of I, dare I say, would I be who I am right now? I know it sounds crazy, but I'm Abraham, and today's subject is the sense of I, who I am. And exploring this, because I really feel like once we start going deeper into the layers of our personality and start questioning, I feel like we get clearer. Yeah.